Hi guys, welcome to TechWave Surfer. Today we will install MongoDB on Docker Desktop. So before we start the installation process, what is Docker container? So a Docker container is a single unit containing an application and all of its necessary configurations or dependencies. And containers are a way to isolate everything needed to run an application in its environment. Now, Docker popularized the concept of containers when they introduced the Docker engine, which lets containers run on any operating systems. Containers run in their own isolated process, which significantly reduces the resources needed to run compared to virtual machines, which require a full operating system of their own. So now let's see how to install MongoDB on Docker. So guys, before we start installing MongoDB, let me explain some of the commands we are going to use in this video. So the -p stands for publish or expose port, and then the -v stands for mount volume, which just means to save the data. And then -d stands for detach, which is basically running the container in the background. And then lastly, the -a, which is used to just attach. So guys, to install MongoDB on a Docker container, you first need to have Docker Desktop installed. And if you don't, I will put a link in the description for you to download and install, and then follow along with me. Now, once you're done installing the Docker Desktop, what you want to do is open the desktop. And once it's open, you can now start the command prompt, which is where you will type this command, which basically installs MongoDB Community Server. And if you want to download a specific version, what you can do is type in the version number right here. But I am going to install the latest version, so I'm just going to stick with what I have here. Now, this procedure might take a few minutes, so just hang on. So now, as you guys can see, MongoDB is done installing and the container is currently running. And to show that it's running, I can go into the MongoDB container and type in mongo sh, which is just Mongo shell. And then what you can do is show DBS to show the databases. But the thing about Mongo containers is that the data created inside Mongo container cannot be accessed from outside the Docker environment. And if you want to do that, you need to expose the internal port to outside Docker. So let's see how to do that. So for that, what you want to do is to stop the container from running. And to do that, you have two options. One is to just stop the button here, or you can go into the command prompt and type docker stop MongoDB. And as you can see, there's currently no port, even though the server is running right now. So now that what you want to do is stop the container and then remove the container. As you can see, the status changed from running to exited. And what you want to do is delete from here, type in this command. And I have changed the port number from 27017 to 37017, but you can change it back to 27017 if you'd like. I am going to just stick with 37017. And as you can see, the port is connected, and you can see that it's currently being connected right here. Now, another useful command you might want to know is docker ps-a. This shows the current containers that are running. And now what we want to do is make sure the data is being connected to MongoDB Compass. So for that, what I am going to do is change this to 37017 because as you guys saw, I am using a different port number. And as you can see, it's currently connected. Now I will create a database called new DB, create cars collection. Now I will add the data in here real quick and be back in a second. So as you guys can see, I have added some data in here. But now if I were to stop the container from running, all my data would get lost, as you guys will see in just a second. Now that I've stopped the container from running, I am going to remove the container. And now if you want to persist the data on your local machine, which basically just means to store the data permanently, you need to mount a volume using the -v argument. For example, right here, as you guys can see, it's basically the same command from above. The only difference is I added the -v, and this is where my data is currently being stored. Other than that, everything is exactly the same. So now what you want to do is run this command. But before running that, I want to show that the data gets lost. So I will close MongoDB Compass real quick and open it again. So as you can see, the data is lost. Now let's run the command which mounts the data using the volume. But before doing that, I am going to close the MongoDB Compass. And now I am basically going to run this command, and I will have this command in the description as well, so you guys can use it if you want. You can change the location of where you want to store the data. But now I got this error because I was running the container and I forgot to stop it, but now I have stopped it. So let's retry the command from above, which saves the data. So I have started the command and it's connected to the port, as you guys can see. Now I will go to the compass and connect. Now I will recreate the database and add the same data as before. So I have added all the data that was there currently. So now I am going to stop the container from running. And I am going to delete this container. But now if I run the same command again, reopen the compass, you will see that the data is still there. As you can see, the data is still there, so is all my collections. So that is pretty much it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it.